So yeah, so basically we have been continuously asked to prepare job seekers, students, and even lateral employees on multiple skills and composite skills. So we thought, why don't we just hear from you industry leaders on what is your view? I mean, and what we've been told is that as much as industries require specialization, there is also a huge requirement for multi or cross sectorial skills based on competencies that let's say encompass multiple functions, multiple job roles, multiple skills, so that I think the same employee would be able to do a lot more than what he or she is doing, and maybe also help them in their career growth and things like that. So before I even get on to any kind of questions, just wanted to go around and ask each one of you your views on, is it really that multi-skills, composite skills are the need of the hour? Is it going to stay? What's happening in your organizations? So anyone can start actually, just to conversations.
So let me
Yeah.
just take a minute or two on this.
Yes, Deepak.
See, from what I've been seeing of skilling, I think in the last 4 5 years, uh, the these buzzwords of upskilling, cross-skilling, reskilling, I don't know, with various connotations of it and understanding of it across industries is happening. Yes, the need for composite skills is not a new thing. I mean, it's not a new buzzword as such. From whatever I've seen, I mean, this is all dependent on how the organizations look at what they need and how also the situations in the larger environment, business environment changes. And that results in a different set of skill sets needed. Yes, to perform their job roles, uh, the need for having multiple skills, because now a lot of, I mean, I'm just talking from an IT industry perspective, is that, you know, from the whole idea, every organization for that matter wants to move from T&M kind of engagements to a managed services kind of engagements. And that is where you also need to look at resource optimization. You need to look at individuals having multiple skills to be able to give a end-to-end solution. I mean, first of all, yes, being consultants
Yes.
and able to give a larger picture to the client. Uh, then there's a topping of domain which gets added onto it. And in the last 2 3 years, if I were to look at it, and this is where I think I saw a lot of resurgence in the behavioral elements of the skills needed.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, if I look at the way the current situation hit us, the whole piece of individuals, the way they, I mean, I'm just starting from hiring, onboarding, selling to execution, everything required a different flavor altogether. And obviously, individuals, it impacted the way they had to work and their behavior elements had to change. And that's where I think now we are also seeing the behavioral elements getting added. But overall, uh, composite skills have been there all throughout. It's just the way we look at it and the way we have treated it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. I think, yeah, yeah, fair enough. It makes a lot of sense, right? Anyone else?
Yeah, so let me go next. Very correctly put by Deepak. I think this is nothing new.
Mm-hmm.
While it's not new, but at the same time, I would say that now it's getting called out specifically,
A lot. Yeah.
right? So we already had it implicitly. So, for example, if I look at the recent list of, World Economic Forum Top Skills 25, there are things like complex problem solving, critical thinking, creativity. Now, all these things are basically all composite skills,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? If you have to do problem solving, you cannot just do it by your technical expertise, right? You have to have at least a mix of three, four skills. I would not even say two skills.
Yeah.
Customer orientation, business understanding, insight into what the business is doing, market intelligence, and a whole lot of technical expertise for you to even attempt doing a good job there.
Mm.
In my view, this is nothing new for sure. But at the same time, this has been called out because I think everybody understands that the kind of importance, particularly the behavioral skills, and in our parlance in Ericsson, we call them power skills,
Mm-hmm.
importance that it should have got, particularly in the technology sector,
Yeah.
is maybe not emphasized enough. And that's why it's been, I think, re emphasized, called out explicitly. And that's the only difference. Otherwise, very correctly put, it's been there always.
It's always been there. Sure. Anisha, Sonal, any views from your end?
Okay, I
Yeah,
think,
yeah, go ahead,
sorry,
Anisha.
go ahead, Sam.
So I just wanted to second the thought of, I second my thoughts with Deepak as well as Chetna. As rightly mentioned, these are not new. Probably we have to think in a way that it is renamed. We
Yeah.
have heard about adjacency skills. We have heard about T skills, right? Model of learning.
Mm-hmm.
We have heard about power skills. All of these are nothing but composite skills.
Right.
And irrespective of, I was just speaking earlier in the introduction that it's not about industry, it's not about organizations, it is the need of the hour because it is an holistic competency development that organizations are looking at.
Yeah.
And that's where this sits, the composite skill concept or the philosophy sits in the center stage.
Mm-hmm.
Reason being that you need to be, we have heard about full stack developers. What is that all about? It's the same. It's composite skill. We speak about, technology organizations say that, my organization technology is very strong, technically is very strong. But when it comes to behavior skills, or when it comes to articulation, when it comes to communication, when it comes to narrative or storytelling skills, they fail miserably. That's
Mm-hmm.
exactly what is composite skills all about. It's all
Right.
encompassing, not overwhelming. It's very critical for us to understand while we create this kind of culture of building composite skills for our employees. It's also important for us to give us that kind of a platform and hand holding to them, because
Mm.
the core should not be lost. We
Right.
all would agree that composite skills are equally they are very important, but the core component or the composite, the most important component of your job role cannot be lost. And
Absolutely.
while that becomes the center, how do you actually encompass all the other peripheral skills which are must required
Yeah.
is something which is the beauty of this philosophy.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Agree to you completely. Yes.
No, I
Anisha, you
think
were saying.
everyone has shared brilliant thoughts here. And I just want to back to what Sonal just mentioned. I think composite skills, reskilling, and everything has been in the system for quite some time. But now it's becoming overwhelming to the employee.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the organization. There are so many interventions today that are happening at an organization level. I mean, let's just take an example. In our organization, in the last couple of years, we launched micro learning. So we are behind the industry because micro learning exists for such a long time. What we did was at every level, we created learning pathways to ensure it's a combination of not just the functional area, but also the behavioral space.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that it was not important earlier, but it's all about giving it a structure,
Right.
right? Now, the same employee has to go and manage their BAU. When it comes to the career progression, again, they were asked to, notch up and get the second level of skills which are defined by organizations. So they say that, communication skills, presentation skills, great. But if you now want to move to a different level, let's see how well are you in emotional intelligence, collaboration, and so forth. So, it's becoming so overwhelming for employees that when we check back with them, they feel that there is so much available for them that they really don't know what is important and what is not important. Yes, the reskilling pathways are something which is trending in our organization today. Future skills pathways have been launched. To what Chetna said, that it was always agreeable that critical skills, problem solving skills, presentation skills are part of any role that you are a part of, but it's just picking up more momentum, and it's making clear to everybody in the organization that you can't really move into any other role unless you have the basic skills, and again on top of that you add functional skills. So yes, it exists, but it's getting a lot more structured, a lot more critical from organizations, with great resignations. Again, I guess, building the pipeline working to create this multi-skilled culture, I think is just picking up, but it's overwhelming for employees, definitely, is what I feel.